Okay, hey guys. Nobody has joined the session yet. Um, for some reason, I don't know why. But yeah, we'll still continue with the lesson once some people join the session. Uh, okay, someone joined the session. Hi, Kevin. Am I audible? Hi, Kevin. Am I audible?
Hi, bro.
Yes, I'm audible, right? My audio is coming clear, right?
Bro, voice is slow, bro.
Okay, let me change the configuration here. एक second. Mhm. Microphone array. Now, can you tell me if my voice is clear or not?
Yes, bro, voice is clear.
Yes, I don't know why, but only you have joined the session. Yeah, one day it will come. People will pay me to join the session. Anyways, I'll just invite other people. Hmm, WhatsApp invite Shahnawaz.
Bro, what's your educational background, bro?
Our education background is I just completed my class 12th and uh, it's been only 6 months and I just directly jumped to the Masai. I joined Masai for the web development.
Bro, you don't have college degree?
No, no, I don't have a college degree.
What's your age?
My age 18. Like,
18.
yes, 18. What? Why are you amazed to know that my age is 18? Most of the people here, I think around 18 or. Hi, Sainvas.
Hello.
Hello, Sainvas. Like we are going to discuss about JS objects and prototype. Like it is going to be the one-on-one session where I'll be explaining the topic and you can ask whatever you have doubts. Like I am really good at this particular topic. So yes. So it is good time to have this session.
Yes, bro, it is a good time for discuss this
Yes, yes.
discuss the concept of classes and object.
Yes, so I'll invite
So,
1 or 2 person more so that if 2 or 3 people more join the session, I'll start the session.
okay,
Let's
okay.
invite more people to this session. Invite. Uh,
Bro, the Zoom duration is 40 minutes, so you
okay,
have
so
to.
yes, yes. So what I'll do, I'll just upload this video on my website so other people will be able to watch the video. Okay, so let's start the session. So this is not going to be the
Okay,
usual explanation session. Basically, I'm going to uh, explain the topic. You can stop me in the middle and I'll explain the topic at little fast pace, but you can stop me in the middle to ask any doubt. Okay.
okay, okay.
Yes. So let's start from, I'll be sharing my screen also. Let me share my screen. Mm, yeah, there is no problem of time. I mean, I can explain this topic in half an hour only. So yeah, eraser IO and share my screen, share entire screen, share. Quickly tell me if my screen is visible or not.
Yes, yes. Feasible.
Visible. So yes, I'm opening topic. So these are some. Wait, let me open the topic. Yes. So these are topics we are going to understand. In the future, we will able to understand inheritance also. But right now in this video, we are going to talk about objects, prototype, way to create objects, and little bit about inheritance. Once you understand object, you'll be able to understand inheritance also. So yes, let me open my code editor also so that whatever I'll be teaching, I'll be coding also. Open my code editor. Where is the code editor? HTML, CSS, code editor. Yes. So put this here, canvas. So let us first understand what a JavaScript object, and because you guys have been doing JavaScript for a while now, so you must have heard this thing that everything in JavaScript object. So the agenda of this video is we are going to understand why and how everything in JavaScript is an object. This is the agenda of this video. So let's start. First of all, JavaScript let's read the definition. JavaScript objects are the key value pairs and are used to store manage data in a structured way. Now, this is a very simple definition and everybody knows it. So for example, if I create any object here, my screen is visible, right? Let obj is equals to. So this is
Yeah,
an,
yeah.
yes. So this is basically a simple object. You create object like this, and this is basically called object literals. So you just place this curly braces and your object is done. Now, this is the definition that objects are key value pairs. So whatever you store in this, like for example, I can store something like name is equals to John, name colon John. So this is called key value pair. So objects are nothing but a key value pair used to store and data in a structured way. That's it. Second thing is written here. JavaScript objects are a collection of methods and properties. So what are these methods and properties is whatever you see inside the object. If there is an object and inside that there is some key value pair, that this is name and John, this is known as property. So every time you see object and there is a key value pair, whatever that key value pair, you will call that as a property. And if you see any function inside object, for example, I create function name hello. So it will be going to it is known as method. So method is nothing but a function inside a JavaScript object. So I can something like this cons. Wait, I think I have done something wrong here. Yes, console.log hello dot this name. Now don't be confused. What is this here? I just remove this particular thing here. This, and now it should run smoothly. Let's open this on editor in a browser actually. Yes. Now if we call this object obj and we write hello, we can see here we are getting output hello. So every time you see any key value pair inside the object, it will be going to call as property. And if there is a function inside an object, it will be going to call as, we are going to call it as
Method.
simple method. So now you understand this particular thing. Now the thing is, the moment you understand the what is properties and method, you will be able to understand prototype also. So let's talk about prototype before moving further. So what is this hello? We have defined hello ourselves. But if you write this object, you also get some other properties also. For example, you write dot, wait, let me, yes. So, okay, you guys know that we have declared object here. So we can also access this object here also. I mean, this is a browser. In whatever you have declared in the code, you can directly access that in a browser also. So we can also accept obj here like this. Okay. So if you write obj and you write dot, you get a lot of these methods. These methods, constructor, proto, has own property, is prototype, and everything, to local string, to string value. These are called prototype. So right, just like you are getting hello also. This hello is declared by us, right? This hello is declared by us only. So this is one of the method that is declared by us. That's why we are able to access here. But these properties like constructor, has own property, it is not declared by us. It is declared by JavaScript developers, right? So, but we cannot see here because it is stored in something called prototype. So every time you create anything, for example, you create array and you use array.map, array.filter, array.reduce. These are the features which we have not created. It is created by JavaScript developers, and what they have did is they put all these features in a object, and that object is known as prototype. So every time you create anything in JavaScript, whether it is set, whether it is string, numbers, what happens, all those features that are present in prototype get added to that particular thing, whatever you have created. For example, I have created object and I have not created anything like is prototype, to string, value of, but JavaScript is doing is it is adding some sort of properties and method by default to my object, and that by default adding some sort of properties and object to my is existing whatever I have created is known as prototype. So prototype is nothing, it is a mechanism through which every object in JavaScript inherits some sort of properties and methods from another object. Now, the thing is, the definition, what I'm saying is that prototype is a mechanism through which objects in JavaScript inherit property. Means if we create array will not inherit the property. Array will also inherit some property. For example, if you create any array, you can use map, you can use filter, you can use reduce. Though you have not described that on your own. It is described by it is created by JavaScript developers, because array is also an object, and the definition says that prototype is a mechanism through which object in JavaScript inherit property. And because we know that okay, because we know everything in JavaScript is object, means anything we create in JavaScript will have prototype, and in that prototype it will have some features that is created by JavaScript developers. So how you can know what are the properties available? So once you click on, just like we have created object here, you just write obj here and you click on this button, and you will see that there is something called prototype. This prototype, this is called global prototype. And anything you create, object, array, set, hash map, string, numbers, boolean, anything in JavaScript, they will going to linked with that prototype. So it's like a father type of prototype, and every object that is array, string, list, boolean, everything in JavaScript is a child of that prototype. So prototype is nothing but a feature added to uh, JavaScript objects. And when I say JavaScript object, means everything. It's not just curly braces object. It means array, set, everything. So yes, these are the features which is created by JavaScript developers. And whenever you create anything in JavaScript, it just JavaScript simply put that particular thing to this. Now what we can do is, just like we have created this hello method here, we can remove these things. For example, this is a prototype. So what we can do is, there is something called dot underscore underscore proto. What it helps, whenever we create some, just like we have created this object, and according to definition, we know that whenever we create object, the global prototype just got added to our existing object or existing array. So what we can do is obj, and to access this particular prototype that JavaScript added by default, we have to write something called dot underscore underscore proto. Wait, yes, dot, and okay, I have to turn off my GitHub Copilot actually. Uh, Anyways, just ignore that. Yes. Now you can point it to null. For example, right now, let me create something else. For example, we know, let's create an array. Let a double array is equal, so that you can understand it better. Let's create an array of numbers. Now we can do something like array dot map. Now where this map is coming from? It is coming from the wait, for each नहीं map करना था. अच्छा चलो for each कर लेते हैं. Yes. Now you can see that. Now, if you do something like this for each element, yes, using for each, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can print all the elements inside the array. Now, where does this for each coming from? It is coming from the prototype, because the moment we created an array, the feature that for each get connected to our array. So now our array have feature called for each, and where this feature is coming from? This feature is coming from the global prototype. But what happens if we just JavaScript linked that particular prototype or array? What if we unlink? We can do that. How? Let's create an empty array. Let's create something like array dot underscore underscore proto. Now, if you thinking why this is very difficult syntax, dot underscore underscore proto, so JavaScript developer have made this very difficult underscore underscore proto very weird name, because so you don't accidentally change proto of any object. Anyways, just ignore that. So now, previously what we were doing, that this array was pointing to some global prototype. That's why it was able to access features like for each, which we have not declared by JavaScript developers. But right now what we are doing, we are saying, hey array, now your prototype will be null, that you are not going to have any feature. And now if you see, if I control S, you'll see array.for is not a function, because now we have said that your prototype will be null. It means you're not going to inherit any feature from your parent. And what is parent? Parent is global prototype. So let me tell you what is this global prototype. So this global prototype is nothing but a object. So this is, for example, when JavaScript developers were making the JavaScript, what they have made something called prototype. And what is this prototype? This prototype is again an object. And this object have features like map, filter, reduce. They have defined every feature that you use in JavaScript inside this prototype. ठीक है? Every feature that is to string or to map, filter, reduce, and the features like to uppercase to lowercase, everything is declared inside this object. And they said that whenever you will create any array, or whenever you will create something string, or whenever you will create number, whenever you will create any sort of set or hash map also, or anything in JavaScript, it will going to acquire or inherit property, their feature from here. So if you create array, what will array do? It will go to this particular object that is called global prototype, and it will acquire all the methods and the properties a array should have. For example, there are functions for each, and there are functions map available. There are functions like to string available, to uppercase available. It will acquire all the properties it needed. So every time you create an array, you create a string, you create number, you create a set, you create hash map. What they do, they just link themselves. They link themselves to a global prototype object, and inside that global prototype object, they are available all the features that you perform with these objects. And that's why, because this is an object, and these guys are obtaining or inheriting property from this particular object, that's why we call everything in JavaScript as object, because at the end they are nothing. What is the meaning of array when you can't use push, when you can't use pop, when you can't use length? There is a no meaning of array. You cannot put an item, you cannot remove an item, then there is a no meaning of array. That's why, because they themselves are nothing, but they become something when they acquire or inherit property from a global object, that is prototype object. That's why we say everything in JavaScript is an object, because they are inheriting every property, everything from an object that is global prototype object. So global prototype is just a features collection of features. And when someone asks you that what is prototype, it means that inheriting one object, that is one object means these are the one objects inheriting some sort of property from another object. We are not saying prototype object, we are saying another object, because we have also seen that right now by default they inherit property from this, but you can also set this to null. At the moment you set this to null, array will not be able to use any property and method like map filter reduce. String will not be able to use to uppercase to lowercase. Number will not be able to use to seal or maths.floor everything, because you are pointing to null. So because now we understand that prototype is also an object, and this object have some sort of features. And what these features do, whenever we create another object like array, string, number, this prototype get attached to that particular object that we have created, that is array, string, number. Now we have to see, okay, itna समझ में आया? Now you guys understand this much what I was explaining. Any doubts till what I have explained?
Bro, I have one doubt, bro.
Yes, please.
Bro, like when we create a string array or any object, that it will it will have the reference of the prototype object.
Yes.
Then if the method is not like we when we create an object and declare a method, it will store in prototype or in that object.
Yes. Whenever you create a for example, whenever you create any, let's say you create an object and you created a method called Kevin inside that object, it will going to be stored in the prototype of that object, but only that object. It will not. But if you create another object, it will not going to available in that object. For example, object one have a method called Kevin Raj. Okay, but
Okay.
yes, now object one will only the object that will going to have that method. If we want to use, if we want to do this, that every object I create must have Kevin Raj uh, method, you have to do something like object dot prototype is equals to, now you have to declare some sort of method here. So every time you create an array, you create an object, anything you will create will have Kevin Raj method in it. So this
Okay,
is,
bro.
you can directly modify the global prototype, or you just can modify the prototype that is particular to your object, that is array, whatever you have created.
Bro,
Okay.
can we also modify predefined methods?
Yes, you can. No, actually, you can't modify that. The moment you start modifying the predefined method, you will override that method. So now you are not modifying, you are just deleting and adding your own method with the same name. For example, map, what does map does? Map just maps your all the numbers. So if you write your own function where map just console log the numbers or console log hello. So now you are just overriding. Yes, you can modify. Yes, you can say you can modify the existing methods. Exactly. You can do that.
Bro, bro,
Yes.
bro, can I tell something?
Yes, please.
I said dot push method and dot pop method. And what is dot map? What is the difference between the dot map for each and other which is push pop operation? What is
Hmm.
the difference between?
Yes,
both of them.
so yes, when you write dot map, it returns you all the array inside the element, right? But when you use dot for each, it do not returns you anything. For example, if I write, this is not a topic of the video, but anyways, if you ask this question, let me explain you. For example, we have created an array 1, comma 2, comma 1, comma 2, 10 tak. Wait, yes. And if I use array, let store this in a some variable. Let's sh is equals to array dot for each element is equals to, wait, uh let sh, yes. Now if we write something called return element, now you see what happens. If I write console dot, now this sh must be containing all the elements that is inside this particular array. So if we write console dot log sh, let's see what we are getting. We are getting undefined. Also, even though we have returned here, we have written here, still it is not returning any element, right? So for each do not returns anything. You can console log all the element if you write console log element console dot log inside this. But you cannot have returned from for each. For each is returned undefined. But instead, if you use map here, map, now you see we are getting something. So it means for each returns undefined. It is just a way to operate. You can use for each to do something with these numbers. Okay, but you cannot get any return value from for each. The return type of for each is undefined. Okay, what was the another question?
Bro,
I
map
ask
modify.
you, I ask you, map, for each, and push pop are all of these are objects or not?
These are not objects, these are methods. Function inside an object. The global prototype is object, right? And inside that map exists. So if a function is existing inside an object, it is called method. Yes, Kevin, you're speaking something?
Bro, map modifies the existing array or it will return a modified new
No,
array,
no,
bro.
no. It returns new array. It returns new array.
Any other method that modifies the existing array?
That existing the modi that exist modifies existing array. So you have to you can write something like this. So if you want to use map to modify, instead of writing sh, what you can do is you can directly write array. Now array is equals to this. Wait, array. Now you can see that, okay, into 2. Let's write 2. Now what is happening? We are multiplying every element with 2. So 1 is going to be 2, 2 is going to be 4, 3 is going to be 6, 4 is going to be 8. And we are writing array is equals to array dot map. It means we are modifying the original array. Let's see what happens. Now you see we have modified the original array. We have console logging array, which is here, but it is giving 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Because we have modified the original array by writing array is equal to array dot map.
Okay, bro.
It is a
Okay.
part of higher order function, no?
Yeah,
Utkarsh, it is a part.
yes. This is the part of higher order functions. And well, by the way, this is not a topic of the video, but anyways, yeah, you guys
Yes,
asked.
yes,
Yes, you guys asked. That's
Bro,
yes.
that's a good thing, yeah. I mean,
I know this topic, but I am confusing that it is. I ask you that dot map dot for each and push and pop is objects or not?
methods. These are
Yeah,
methods.
yeah.
I
Okay. It is
always
a
understand
pre-built.
Java. Yes. Speak, please.
It is pre-built function, I think.
Pre-built, yes, pre-built functions need pre-built methods because these are present where? These are present in global prototype. And whenever something is present in an object, global prototype is an object, it is known as predefined methods.
And what is the difference between the methods and functions?
Yes,
So
the function, there is a difference between function and methods. Whenever you write function, you write just function explicitly. But whenever you create an object, for example, here we have created an object. Let me show you. Wait. Let me control J functions prototype. Yes. Now you see, this is an object and this is a function. Hello is a function, right? But we will not call it function. We will call it method. Why? Because it is existing inside an object. So what is the use of method? Although we are just console logging hello, but we always expect that we will write function that will perform some function on this object. You just have to know this, that anywhere, if a function is inside an object, it will be known as method. It is like arguments and parameter. What is the difference between parameter and arguments? Whenever you write some function, you accept parameter, but when you invoke or call that function, you just give arguments. So there is no difference actually, but because we are using both at different places, that's why we have different name. For example, if I say Sanwas, you know what is that method, so you will be know, okay, Utkarsh is talking about method, it means it will be going to present in some object. And if I say Sanwas, do you know that function, it means it is present outside the object, it is not present inside the object. This is just the way to understand where the object is present. This is just a name. You can also call it function also, but better is to call object method, so that other can understand, okay, Sanwas is talking about some function that is present inside object. Understood?
Okay, 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 okay.
Bro,
Yes.
bro, create some method and add it in a prototype and explain prototype chaining, bro. I am confused in prototype chaining.
Prototype chaining. You mean to say prototype chaining?
Inheritance,
Okay,
that part.
inheritance. Yes, we are not there, but yes, I can explain you a little bit about that, because before that you have to understand what are the ways you have to understand constructor function. You have to understand classes also before moving on that part. But anyways, I'll quickly give you what is the prototype chaining first of all. So as I explained you, there is something called global prototype. Okay, let's write it prototype.
Yes.
Prototype. What is this? This has all the features of object. This has all the features. Okay. This has this, and yes, this is an object also. Let's write this like this. This is a global. Now, whenever you create anything in JavaScript, for example, you create some sort of array or number or string, or let's say set or hash map. What happens here happens a prototype chaining. What happens? They get connected to something called prototype. This is called prototype. Prototype. Prototype of their own. It is not, for example, array will not going to have the features that number have. Number is not going to have features that array. For example, you made a string is equal to my name. A string is not going to have map, right? Or a string have map. Actually, yes, a string also have map function. Why it have map function? Because it is also acquiring data from here. Now you see numbers. Okay, everyone will have their own prototype. There are some features which are limited to array. There are some features which are limited to number. So first of all, there are two level of prototype chaining. First level, second level. You think that we have created an array, and if array acquires all the properties directly from the global prototype, or numbers acquire all the properties and methods from the global prototype, it means number is going to have all the features that array have. But there is a difference between number and array. So what we do is we create a basic local prototype, you can say. So these are the features which are specific to them, and this prototype that gain connected to here. So what it does, it is kind of filter, you can say. So all the property, for example, if we are creating number, so this prototype will inherit only those properties which are needed to number. So this is the first level, second level. So array is an object. It first get connected to here, then get connected to here. So this is called prototype chaining. But in case of object, for example, actual object, I'm not talking about these, I'm actually talking about objects, these objects. If you create object, they don't have two level of hierarchy, they have single level of hierarchy. They directly acquire properties from here, because these are the object. You can use this object to create array, create number, create a string, anything. This is actually, this topic is a little bit confusing. Why? Because you guys don't still understand what are constructor function, what are factory functions, and what are classes. To understand them, you need to first know what are those. Then only you will be able to understand what I'm talking about. But okay, I'll show you some practical also. Then you will. Yeah, actually, this topic is something which you have to revise again and again to understand it. It's not memorizing, but kind of very confusing. Yeah, actually, it is difficult for me also to explain you. It is that much, you can say, the confusing topic, because this is the reason why everything works very differently in JavaScript. Anyways, for example, if I create an array, let's let array is equals to, wait, yeah, what is this? Let array is equals to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Let array. Now you say, this array, what this array is doing? Map, filter, reduce, everything. It is inheriting from global prototype, right? Global prototype. But before that, it should not inherit all the properties of global prototype have the features of string, numbers, boolean, and like uh, too many what methods and properties, but it should only acquire those properties which are array needs. So for example, if I write array, wait, array dot underscore underscore proto, you see it is acquiring something called concat, copy within, fill, find, constructor, entries, fill, filter, find. These are the features which a array needs, right? These are the features we use it with array. But inside that global prototype, there are the features of array also, string also. So that's why we have two level. One level is that acquire only those skills, I mean acquire only those features that I need. And that what that one level do, that go to second level and ask the global prototype that, hey global prototype, give me only that feature which array is asking. So what you can see here is if I write array dot underscore underscore proto, now if I write this much only, I will get those features that are needed to my array. But if I write dot underscore underscore proto again, you see this, wait, array is not defined, arrays, array, okay. Now, if I write this, I will get something like this. See, these are all the features that an object have. So everything in JavaScript is object. So the array will also have the properties which a simple object have. But it will not going to use those properties. It will going to inherit only those properties which array actually can use. So that's why we have two level of hierarchy in everything except objects. Yeah, actually objects are very confusing to be honest. When I say object, I mean array, list, everything. So for example, I have created array here. So it has this particular proto, which is saying that I will use map, filter, reduce, and all the function that array use. And this proto means that I will acquire this proto properties from this proto, that is global prototype. So global prototype, then local prototype, then your array. Global prototype, local prototype, then your string. Global prototype, local prototype, then your number. Right? But in case of object, that curly braces object, because JavaScript, everything is object, and object is an object itself. Object is a pure version of object. So object do not have two level. Object directly have global prototype, then object. And below that object, array, string, number. So it's like father is global prototype, and the local version is, you can say, it's just like manager is global prototype, principal is local prototype, and the children's are array, string, numbers, boolean, these. Understand or not?
Understand, bro.
Yeah, Kevin, yeah, it is actually you have to read it a lot here. I mean, I have read it from MDN docs, that's why I'm able to understand. Kevin, you understood or not? Kevin, Kevin, bro, you're not in the lesson, right? You're not. I guess you left the lesson while just not logging out. Anyways. So this is the way. Now we have to know what are the ways we can create objects. So to
Yes,
understand,
bro. One call came, bro.
Kevin, understood or not?
Yes, bro.
What?
Bro, one
Yeah,
call came, friend called suddenly.
wait, here. I think please speak English here. I'm not able to understand. Anyways, let's move forward. Okay, there are four methods of creating object. The moment you understand this particular thing, the four methods of creating object, you will be able to understand prototype. Right now, prototype is little bit difficult for you. But I'll give you the link of a very good documentation by W3 School. There they have taught you. There they have created a full page on how to create objects. I'm going to teach also. But anyways, uh, there are four methods. So the usual method of creating an object, the usual way, let's obj is equals to this. The usual way of creating an object is this way. Okay, this is known as object literal. Object literal means just spacing two things. But we have four other methods. Why we have four other methods? We have four other methods to understand how inheritance works. So likewise, you right now you know that everything in JavaScript we create inherits some property of some their properties and methods from a global prototype. And because they because we don't have control over this particular prototype. The other four methods will give you. So right now when we create object is equal to like this, we cannot control this prototype. We cannot say that this object should not inherit property from this. We cannot do that, right? To do that, we have to do something like object dot underscore underscore proto, and then we write like this, and then we write something like this. Okay, we have to write something like this is equals to null, so that it do not inherit property from here. But the other four methods allow you to do to change the prototype of an object, that is change the features of the object, change the parent of the object while creating the object. So the next method we have is called I think constructor function. Wait, let me see the notes also. Yes, there is something called object dot create method. Object dot now what is this object dot create method? Let us discuss. For example, if I want to create let obj is equals to, I can write something like obj object dot create null. Now what is happening whenever I write object dot create, it is creating an empty object, but inside this I am writing null. It means it is not going to acquire or inherit any property from here. You see this. And let's add something. Let's object dot. Now this is the way of adding anything to object. You guys must know this, that whenever we write this type of bracket and inside this we write key and is equals to the value. This is the way of adding any new key value pair. And what we call key value pair, we call key value pair as property. So to add any property or key value pair, you write syntax like this. Okay. And if I console log this here, obj1, I can access this here from here also. Okay, right. Obj. Obj. Now you can see I can access this here. Now, if you see, I'm not getting anything here. Wait. If I define something like this, let obj is equals to. Now you see, if I write obj here, you can see I'm getting name John, and if I open this, I'm getting this prototype also. This is called global prototype that I have discussed. But what if I do something like this? Obj dot underscore underscore proto underscore underscore is equals to null. I will not get that prototype, right? I will not getting this prototype. So what I'm doing, I'm first creating the function, then writing this null. Instead, what I can do is I can do something like this: object dot create null. Let object is equal to object means I'm saying, hey, let's create an object with name of object, that is object dot create, and as whatever I will write inside this is going to the prototype of that. So you see here, if I console log this again, here, you see we have not anything here. So writing this means you are creating an object, and the moment you are creating an object, you are writing this also, that dot underscore underscore proto is equal to null. So instead of writing two sentences, we are combining that in a one. And if you write something called something here like object dot prototype. Now we know that the global object is known as object.prototype. This is the name of the prototype, object.prototype. So if you create new object and inside that you pass object.prototype, it is now going to have that particular prototype. You see, we are now getting the prototype. So the moment you write this particular thing, let me show you. Whenever you write let object is equals to curly braces, you know what is happening? It is getting converted like this. Let object, this is actually the code behind. This is the code that JavaScript developers have written, that whenever user will write this line, let object is equal to curly braces, it will going to happen like this: object dot create, and it will going to have something like object dot prototype. Okay, I'm writing in short form. Okay, so whenever you write this line, this is also getting getting converted like this. Let object, wait, yes, let object is equal to object dot create object dot prototype. So this is, we write simple curly braces because we don't want to write all these things, but actually in the behind it is happening like this.